We are back. We are back, ladies and gentlemen. We are back with another top 10 video. What up, everyone? It's your boy Sly Lancy, and welcome back to the channel. And for today's video, we're going to be talking about the top 10 worst Sly Cooper boss battles. We already did a version with the best boss battles, but I remember someone in the comment section talking to me about would I ever do a worst boss battles. So if I find them, I'm going to put them in the comment section, or I'll shout them out in some capacity or form. But yeah, Sly Cooper boss battles, everyone. I know everybody has their favorite and least favorite boss battles in Sly Cooper. Let's talk about what I think are some of the worst boss battles in my personal opinion. So if you guys are ready, let's get to it. Hey guys, quickly before we do anything else, I just wanted to throw in this little note here. I'm trying to do more Sly Cooper videos. I'm trying to get them out at least monthly, like once or twice a month. So next Sly Cooper video, depending on what you guys want, it may be Neela's potential, or I may talk about, like, you know, another topic that you guys would want to talk about. I did the coin designs, but I did it in a YouTube short. If anything, I'll leave like a tab at the top of the video. I'll put the link in the description down below, so just look out for that. But yeah, any other top 10 videos you guys have, or any like think pieces you want me to discuss based off Sly Cooper, just let me know and I'll try to get to them. Okay, with that, back to the video. Number 10. Captain Lefu from Sly 3. Lefu's boss battle, I felt like, in all honesty, maybe there wasn't another way to go about Lefu's boss battle, but that doesn't mean that I particularly like it. Like, the sword fight among the masses really does make sense for what it is, but I personally just didn't like it, you know. Plus, the boss battle is actually relatively easy the more you start to do it. Like, you know which certain buttons to use when Lefu does certain motions. Like, when he celebrates, when he jumps up, when he jumps down. Like, once you really get the hang of it and understand the patterns and rhythms, it's really a relatively easy boss fight. But it also makes it boring once you finally learn how to do it. Again, it's not the worst boss fight in the world, but it's just really, really anticlimactic, especially for me. And considering how the rest of the chapter went about it to get to this boss battle, it really, really feels anticlimactic to me. And for anybody who doesn't understand what I'm talking about, watch my ranking of every Sly Cooper chapter from worst to best. You'll get a better understanding of how I feel about this boss battle. Number 9. Dr. M's underwater battle from Sly 3. This ties into the Dimitri level, but there's still a boss fight that we have to deal with the deep current. So yeah, like I said before, Dimitri's levels are by far some of the worst in the Sly Cooper franchise, and this includes the boss battle that comes in the second Dimitri underwater level. This one just, you know, like, you have to maneuver around. The controls, again, I'm not very fond of, and like Dr. M2, sometimes, like, he could be really, really annoying in this boss battle. And if you suck at controls like I did with this mission, it really, really becomes frustrating to figure out sometimes. I definitely prefer the other boss battles in this game with Dr. M. You know, the Final Legacy easily being my favorite one, and then the other one, which I'll get to in a second, not being as good, but still I prefer it over this particular boss battle. Number 8. Sir Ryle the Frog from Sly 1. For Sir Ryle's boss fight, you literally just have to watch this dude, because he's going to eat a fly and they get really big, and he's going to jump around on the different platforms that are happening, and certain platforms will light up red, which will mean that they're gonna sink underwater, and then other platforms, it'll literally just be, you know, by itself. And then, you know, another element of the boss battle is Sir Ryle, when he's not trying to bounce on you, he's gonna use his tongue to try and hit you with it. So yeah. Plus, I'll give credit where credit's due with this boss fight, though. The Sir Ryle celebration when he thinks he hurts you or kills you, you know, it's pretty funny. He uses his tongue as like a guitar string, so I'll give the boss fight that. The messed up part about this boss battle is that as a kid, I actually did like this boss battle a lot, but that also plays into the fact that I didn't really get far into the game as a kid, so I would often replay this level a lot growing up. But yeah, so this boss battle when you get down to it, it's very, very basic. You know, again, the repetitive boss battles formulas I'm very, you know, indifferent towards, because, like, again, it gets repetitive and sometimes it gets boring. There are occasions where the repetitiveness actually can get innovative sometimes, like with Clockwork's boss battle, or even Panda King's boss battle. But, you know, like, I really just didn't, as I got older, I just learned that I really just do not care for this boss battle. It's just very basic, and the boss battle itself makes Sir Ryle come off as a very, very weak villain. Probably the weakest villain in the entire franchise that Sly's ever dealt with. And it truly makes me wonder that if Sly ever comes back to the media, if Sir Ryle would be in like some capacity, shape, or form involved. Because I just don't know how else you would go about, you know, making Sir Ryle more menacing than what he could have been in this game. Number 7. Mugshot from Sly 1. This particular boss fight, it can get very intense sometimes if you're not careful enough. But again, it's the same thing with the Sir Ryle boss fight. It's lather, rinse, and repeat a formula, you know. And this was the main issue that with Sly 1, that like a lot of the levels just felt more gimmicky than anything else. And I'm glad they fixed this issue in Sly 2 and Sly 3 going forward. But even though I know that Sly 1, the first game in the series, had to like test the waters of what it could and couldn't do, so I'll give Sly 1 the pass for that. But again, you know, you still have to be critical sometimes of things. And I'm just critical of how they went with lather, rinse, and repeat formula every single time. Even though this game is more arcade than anything else, you know. But yeah, for Mugshot's boss battle, you basically have to hit the mirror so that the light points towards the crystals that show up from the ground. And once all the crystals are lit up, they heat up and overheat Mugshot's guns, which will then hurt him in the process. You have to do this for 3 straight times. Once you do that, then you defeat Mugshot. The concept on paper sounds cool, but it doesn't make sense when you actually sit back and look at it. But again, I can't fault, you know, the developers for doing this, because again, it was the first game in the series. What else were they supposed to do? Number 6. Battle on the High Seas from Sly 3. The dreaded ship segments. Oh my gosh, I really do hate these ship segments in Sly 3, bro. Yeah, so basically, this is more like a mini boss than anything else. Just like a couple of these boss fights are mini bosses. But yeah, so the concept for this mission is basically you have to take down every single pirate gang or pirate crew, because if you don't, and like you try to attack Lefu's gonna call out all those pirate ships, and we're gonna be outgunned and outnumbered. So that's why we have to like attack these ships head on and stop them before we even think about going about the operation. So my issue with this boss fight is the ship itself. Like, it's hard to get this ship to turn sometimes, and sometimes when you fire the cannonballs, it doesn't aim correctly. Or sometimes it overshoots or undershoots depending on where you're trying to shoot it at. So that was my main issue with this boss fight, you know. And you know what? It's not even the fact that you're outnumbered. It's just the ship and how it controls. Because, you know, other than that, I would say that, like, you know, this really wasn't that bad of a boss battle. Just very, very tedious. And especially with the controls being as awkward as they are. Number 5. Miss Ruby boss fight from Sly 1. What I said in the worst Sly Cooper's missions list for Miss Ruby's boss battle basically applies here. You know, it's just the awkward controls especially in the PS3 version just doesn't work. In the PS2 version, it is perfectly fine. But, you know, even though it's difficult for me on both versions, you know, I would say the PS2 version at least made it more. It was more like a challenging difficult. The PS3 version makes it like impossible to get through difficult, because you have to literally, the music's out of sync with the buttons. So if you don't know how to like coordinate yourself to like match pace with the music out of sync, then you're not gonna be successful in any shape or form. One thing I will say about this boss battle though is that even though it was my number 3 least favorite mission, in the entire franchise, at least as of right now, until I until I re-rank every single mission. It's literally the reason why it's number 5 on this list is because the top 4 on this worst boss battles list is literally a part of Operations itself. That's the only reason why this one comes at number 5. Number 4. Neela boss battle from Sly 2. This boss battle is in Operation Choo Choo from Sly 2, and this is one of the few boss battles that I can say, like, even though I like what I'm doing, the amount of enemies or amount of, like, bombs that are thrown my direction is really what brings this mission down for me. Because I thoroughly enjoy using Bentley's helicopter in Sly 2. The problem I have is that this particular boss battle, they amp up the difficulty to very, very tedious levels of difficult. Because, like, it feels like you're dodging the missiles more than you're trying to get Neela, which does get very, very annoying and frustrating after a while. So that's one of the main gripes I have with this boss battle. It's not overly difficult, just very, very tedious. And compared to the other boss battles on this list, it's one of the ones I actually do enjoy a bit more than others. But that's as far as that goes. Number 3. The Grizz boss battle from Sly 4. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. Listen. I'm laughing, but not for the right reasons with this boss battle, because, like, this boss battle is so bad. It's one of those things where it's like, it's so bad it does kind of come off as pretty good in a way. It's just so funny. That's what I get with this boss battle. I mean, the Grizz, again, so for many of you who've been following the channel since day 1, many of you already know that I'm not very fond of the Grizz as a villain, and I just think his portrayal is very stereotypical for this game. Even though Sly Cooper franchise hasn't shied away from stereotypes in this game. But yeah, it's just like, this particular boss battle just made me take the Grizz less seriously than what I already did, which was not very high to begin with anyway. So, I mean, the fact that he wanted to be an ice skater all his life, I can somewhat appreciate that he's being open and honest about it. But again, his threatening levels just really dropped down a lot for me. Even if his personality is through the roof, which I'll give plenty of credit to. But again, we're not talking about the Grizz, we're talking about the boss battle with the Grizz. The whole battle itself, like, I don't particularly care for what I'm doing between, like, dodging the ice picks, trying to use the ice blocks to hit the Grizz, and then the ice skating section, and then you're trying to punch the Grizz left and right. Again, it's just like, it feels really like they wanted to make something, like, similar to, like, let's say, like, a combination of Mugshot and Miss Ruby. And what they gave me was something that I particularly just did not care for altogether. And again, combine that with the Grizz of all characters that I'm fighting, and I really can't with this level. This particular boss fight, I just can't. I can't take it seriously. Plus the character arc that they try to have with Murray during this boss battle, or in this case, the entire chapter, just wasn't working for me either, because it felt like a blatant ripoff of Sly 2. Number 2. The Paradox boss battle from Sly 4. This is easily the most anticlimactic boss battle in the entire franchise. How every boss battle on this list is either very tedious as heck or very difficult, this boss battle literally just feels like you didn't accomplish anything at all. You spent hours trying to beat Sly 4, and then this is the boss battle we get, and then the ending afterwards literally to retcon everything that happened. Like, what is the whole point of that? Like, this boss battle really legitimately makes me feel like I just wasted my time, and that I literally could have been doing other things with my time aside from playing this game, which I shouldn't be saying because I still enjoyed Sly 4, but that's how this boss battle makes me feel. On top of that, it really makes me hate Paradox even more, which I don't know helps him in the villain category or worsens him in the villain category. I'll let you guys talk about it in the comment section below. But that's my overall opinion on this whole situation. What should have been one of the greatest boss battles in the entire franchise ended up just being a huge slap in the face for die-hard fans everywhere. This could have easily gotten #1, but there was one more boss battle that I thought of that really irks my nerves even more than this one. Not because it's difficult or tedious or anything, but much like this mission here, it's very, very anticlimactic. Okay, so before we get to the #1 spot, I have to give 2 honorable mentions that, in all honesty, could have went unsaid, but since I did honorable mentions for the best boss battles, I want to do honorable mentions for the worst ones too. But these honorable mentions aren't really that bad, just not my particular favorite. Dr. M's flying ship from Sly 3. And if I'm being honest, this boss battle, it's not bad. It's just, you know, like, it's just another bland boss fight to me. Like, I like the airplane duels. I definitely prefer the ones in the Holland's world, because at least there's a lot more aerial stunts you can do with it, you know. But this boss battle I just wasn't a huge fan of. El Jefe from Sly 4. Remember how I said I can't stand boss fights that have like repetitiveness to them? This is basically how I feel about El Jefe's boss battle. It gets boring to me after a while, because we're literally doing lather, rinse, and repeat 4 straight times. Okay, we are down to the #1 spot, everyone. The #1 worst boss battle. You know, I mean, considering that the other boss battles on this list aren't really bad, they're just like, they have minor problems that make them very unnecessary. This particular boss battle, combined with the last one as well, the Paradox, also with the Grizz, I'll say, this boss battle really wasn't anything, you know, worthwhile. Like, really wasn't worthwhile. That boss battle being the Mask of Dark Earth boss battle, aka Karma Larger boss battle from Sly 3. Again, the Mask of Dark Earth is easily the worst villain in this entire franchise. And the fact that, you know, like, it wasn't even the fact that, okay, so let me start off by saying the mask latches on the Karma Leader, you know, and then we get the Karma Larger, which, you know, goes beyond the Rule 34 boundaries of the universe. And then, you know, basically we take that truck that we used to capture scorpions and ride it out to Aya's Rock, and we try to, I guess, trap Karma Leader in that area, and then we throw bombs at her. But everything that we're throwing at Karma Leader is not working, and instead she just grows bigger and bigger. Oh my gosh. Edit that out. Someone edit that out, please. So Karma Leader gets, you know, bigger and bigger. And then, you know, we basically realize that the source of her getting bigger is the mask, and we have to pry the mask off her face. So basically, think of it as a less violent version of Spider-Man ripping the black suit off his body. So if they went about the concept as more like that, I think I would have thoroughly enjoyed this boss battle a bit more. But instead, the mask is relatively easy to get off her face. So what we literally have to do is climb up Karma Leader's body and pry the mask off with the hooks that's latched onto her face. Once we do that, Karma Leader reverts back to a normal size, and then all of Karma Leader's mercenaries that would try to, you know, get the mask off her face too, they shoot down the mask, and then they all die and perish with the mask in the process. Again, this boss fight was so anticlimactic because of how bad the villain was for this area, and whenever I play this boss battle, I legitimately just feel nothing anytime I beat it. Any other Sly Cooper mission, I at least get some semblance of, like, you know, like euphoria for beating it, you know. But again, much like the last entry, this boss battle I legitimately just get annoyed with every time because I literally feel nothing after I beat it. So yeah, that's the reason why the Mask of Dark Earth boss battle is the worst in my personal opinion. And with that concludes today's video, guys. What did you guys think of the rankings? Did you agree with them? Did you disagree with them? As always, let me know in the comment section down below what you thought. And as always, guys, thank you so much for tuning into the video every single day. You know, The channel is growing very greatly. We just crossed over 2,500 subscribers, which I'm very, very thankful for. Thank you as always, everyone. And again, if you guys have video suggestions, leave them down in the comment section down below. I'll try to get to them as soon as I can, guys. As always, it's your boy Sly Lancy. Thank you again for watching this video, and I'm out. See you guys next time.